Okay, let's move on to retopologizing the rock. But before we import the rock in, let's check quickly from this menu bar. Let's go to this Windows drop menu and let's find settings and preferences from there. And then go to settings and check that your working units are meters. So not centimeters, millimeters or anything, but meters. Okay, then let's go to File, Import, and let's bring in the reference mesh that we made. Import, and there we have it. And it's running nicely inside ZBrush. The geometry is suitably low. So activate the mesh in outliner, and then let's go into the status line, and you will find this magnet icon in there. It says make the selected object live, and it converts the selected surface to a live surface. So let's click on this. Rock ref is live. Okay, and now that it's a live object, we can go here into the modeling toolkit. Make sure that you have the modeling toolkit tab open, so not attribute editor, not channel box, modeling toolkit. And here find quad draw and click on it. And now that we have this quad draw tool selected, we can start creating the topology on top of this live surface. So left mouse button click on the surface and we get a dot. Make another one, a third one, and a fourth one. And there we have a quad formation. Now press down Shift while hovering inside the quad formation and click left mouse button, and we'll get a polygon. Okay, let's left mouse button click some more dots, and then press down Shift again and left mouse button again, and then drag while holding down the left mouse button, like so. Okay, so that's one way to create topology with this quad draw tool. Another way to draw more of these polygons here is to press down the tab key, and as you hover over an edge, you can see that the cursor changes into this extend cursor. So then just press down left mouse button and drag, and we get more polygons again. Now if we would want to add an entire poly loop from an edge loop, then we again press down the tab key, and then we press down the middle mouse button and push out. Okay, let's do that again. So tab and middle mouse button, drag, and we're getting polygons. And as you can see, while pressing down the left mouse button and dragging, we can get out these or we can move these vertices of the currently active mesh. And we can also move the edges around, as well as the polygons. So all the elements of the mesh are manipulatable. Up. Okay. Then if we would want to add edge loops here, then we would press down the command key, and we can see that this sliding edge loop appears. So just left mouse button click and we get it there. And if we would want this edge loop to be placed in the middle, in the exact middle of the poly loop, then we would just press down the middle mouse button and then it snaps to the center or the middle of the poly loop. Then release the button and it's created. So command key and left mouse button to create an edge loop, and command key and middle mouse button to create an edge loop in the middle. Okay, but this is now maybe looking slightly too dense around in here. I mean, it's a flat surface, so I'd say that it doesn't necessarily need such dense topology. So let's take something out. So when we press down Command and Shift, we can see that the cursor changes into what you can see now. There's this X underneath the cursor. So now we can delete elements, like for example this polygon, or we can even paint delete them. So Command and Shift down to delete, and especially these edge loops were actually maybe a bit unneeded. So let's take them out. Okay. And then let's just continue retopologizing. Sorry. So Shift down and left mouse button. And let's extend. It didn't snap there. Okay. Oh, and also you probably noticed already that when I was creating those polygons while pressing the Shift down, this relax brush appeared. So Shift down and draw on the mesh, on the vertices, and it will relax the mesh. And in certain cases it might be actually very good, but when we are retopologizing shapes like these that have lots of these strong angles, it might be better that we just manipulate the mesh ourselves. But just so you know, it might become very handy in certain situations, like when you are retopologizing, for example, like some very organic shapes. Okay, so let's add an edge loop there, and when creating this topology, also it's a good idea to create quite quite broad topology first. So don't go about creating like super small polygons or anything, but rather, you know, rather drag really big polygons, because you can always go on about doing this. Okay, and then let's place those, and we can see that we could also do a little something like that to this particular spot, and well, now we got a pentagon there, so I had to split it as well. And these are floating upsista. These are floating on top of this cavity. So let's pick the multicut tool again and cut those. And then let those vertices snap there into the cavity. Okay. And by the way, just if you don't like, for some reason, hopping here into the modeling toolkit to get this multicut tool, you can also press down the command key and shift key, and then right mouse button to get this pie menu, and from there you can pick this multicut tool. But you know, and as, again, also you can also go back to the quad draw mode from using the same button combination. So command and shift and right mouse button, and you get here. And while you are doing the retopology, it is very important to observe your mesh constantly from different angles, so that you are enveloping the reference mesh as well as possible, so that there are, like, there is, now I've got this problem here. I'll take the multicut again, and in the cut those into half. Okay, that's already better. So yeah, constantly observing that there is not something like this going on. So let's cut that and let's cut it again, and then I'll pull this vertex out a bit. Okay, and okay, I'm going to make a cut there as well. Right. And up. And extend, and also there's this feature in when we are pressing down the tab key that if you are hovering your cursor outside of the mesh, you get this floating quad, or it's not floating, it's actually attaching to the mesh. So we can also not only create these quads by using these dots, we can also drag them around using this well, pressing down the tab key to get into the extend mode. So there are many ways to build the topology, and you'll find the suitable ways for different cases. And okay, that's quite flat surface, so anyway, I'm not going to record this whole process. I think you got a good idea of how this goes. So in the next video we are going to go through this unwrapping and UV mapping process. But before I end, I also want to make sure that you notice that there is also this possibility to get these shortcut keys from here. So whenever you pick something, you can scroll down to find this tab which opens this list of shortcuts. If you have forgotten like what was the combination of some action, and you can also, if you change for example to this connect tool, you can find its shortcuts from here and so forth. So just so you know. Okay, anyway, make sure to observe that the mesh is enveloping the reference mesh, so that you're not losing any forms, and also do try to also preserve the vertices. So places like these, for example, would not need. It's certainly quite flat, this surface, so it doesn't need so much geometry. So that's maybe more suitable for that flat area there. Okay, I think you got the idea. So I'm going to stop this video now.